Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for being here. I'm live. I'm in my groups, and I'm just here to touch base with all of my professional women. Anyone really needing to hear this message, it's going to be showing up for you the moment you need it at the perfect time in the perfect place. I'm Ilima, and I'm a self-compassion wellness coach. And I have my own Facebook community called Radiate and Elevate Professional Women, and I'll provide that information here. But I'm just popping on because I love sharing the activities that I have used for my own self to transform my life. Okay. Without getting into the long, dirty details about the trauma and toxic workplace I was in, I do want to touch on how common it is for many of us women to experience toxic work environments. It's all around us. Toxic coworkers, supervisors, bosses who come in, clients we deal with, customers, and sort of just the environment in general. And that's what I experienced last year. And, when you're in it, because I was so committed to my profession, and you probably experienced this too, how many of you just found yourself in such deep purpose and commitment that you tolerated so much of, the, excuse me, the nuances, the sort of the backdoor remarks, sort of areas or things that you started to feel uncomfortable with, but you tolerated it, right? Because you thought you could just kind of overcome, you thought your purpose was bigger than the need to stop and reflect and to make sure your environment is safe for you. Okay, so that was me too. And suddenly I found myself around people who were very emotionally toxic, and it started to wear on me. And then I suddenly and quickly, things had changed in my job. No admission of my own, no input from me, but someone else had made changes, and it was life shattering. Okay, because I had committed time, energy, and money to being qualified and certified in my position. And so, how many of you really have experienced that? You are so purposeful, you're so focused and driven in your career. You invest your time, energy, and money. You put time aside for family, you put the time aside for friends because you feel you are on the right path. But you very well might not be, because you're not aware that the environment and the people around you are hurting you, okay, emotionally. Now, I don't get on here to just sort of drive that message. My message is really about hope. My message is about positivity. And I provide, not only this story that I hope or that I believe resonates with many of you, but I provide the solutions. I provide the hacks, okay, the life hacks. I get on here live to just give you one life hack, because each month I create a live challenge where I share a larger amount, a longer list of hacks that I did to take myself from being crushed and crippled by this past environment to filling my soul with energy and optimism. I have incredible self-assurance that I know for a fact, a definitive fact, that things will work out for me, okay, and for my family. And I've developed the ability to not worry, and ultimately it has all led me to realize that in order to achieve this type of life, I had to learn how to let go. Okay, so that's what we're talking about today. And I get on here and I just sort of provide that insight. That little bell should be sort of sounding in your head. Do you hear it? Let me know in the comments right now if you are watching live or on a replay. So type in hashtag live or hashtag replay if you are watching in any of those formats. comment and answer the questions that I'm asking you, because these are questions that are meant to spark, some sort of realization and reflection on your own life, and really to help you overcome the pain and the worry and the hurt that you have experienced or that you are feeling at this very moment. Okay, so go ahead and let me know in the comments, where are you watching this live from? What part of the world? Because it's amazing how much we can all connect by within miles and thousands of miles of each other. Well, we can just become connected, and we can have a friendship of some sort online here. We can teach one another. We can improve our lives together. Okay, so when I was experiencing that toxic situation, right, I had to come to terms, right? I had to realize that I'm not going to be in a state of worry and stress and fear. All right. And I had to get out of that state of mind because I had people counting on me. Okay. I had a family. I had my husband and I had my adult children. They're about 19 and 22 right now. And I knew they were looking to me. Okay, Mom, what's going on, right? This happened to you. So what do you want to do about it? And I had to gather them up as a family, and I had to tell them all that I am okay. All right. Even at the moment, I wasn't entirely okay, but I had to have that front. And I decided to do that because although I am a big advocate and a big supporter of the power of vulnerability. Okay. So I'm going to just digress here real quick, ladies. The power of vulnerability is incredibly important to not only your own growth, but to modeling for your children or modeling for the person in your relationships, people you're in your relationships. If you cannot be vulnerable in your relationships, and I'm talking about moms and children, or husbands and wives, or partners, or even to some extent at the workplace, if you can't show that emotional capacity to be vulnerable, to share your feelings, not in a dependent sort of way, but in the point where you can reflect, like, okay, I know I'm feeling this way, but I'm going to move forward. I'm going to move through it. So that was the vulnerability I still showed to my family, and I wasn't putting up a facade or a fake front, because I was always telling them, I know we're going to be okay. I know this is going to all work out for us. At the same time, I would tell them, this is so crippling for me. Okay. I am constantly waking up every day, questioning my professional identity, questioning all the time, the energy that I invested. Was it all a waste? Was it all in vain? And I had to have those conversations with myself. But I used these hacks, and I created a wellness routine of my own that included a number of things, and I did it consistently. Ladies, I did it for a whole year. Maybe I didn't do it every 365 days, but I had to have practiced this 320 days for a whole year. Okay. And I started to learn about these wellness activities, and I started to incorporate them into my life, and I did them every single day as much as I could. So I'm going to share the one thing that I definitely did, that I felt did incredibly transformative, was incredibly transformative for me, and that's called box breathing. Okay. I don't know if you've heard of that. So if you know that breathing is not only a necessity for our health and for our living, it has the power to cleanse. Okay, it has the power to remove toxins from our body. All right. And toxins can occur in our body through emotional stress. Okay, not only like chemical toxins around us, but the emotional stress that we endure. And if we keep it inside and we don't breathe it out, or we don't have outlets to remove them from our bodies and from our minds and our souls, they turn into disease, right? They turn into things that really make us ill. So box breathing, I would do this every morning, among a couple other things, but Let me know in the comments if you have practiced, some sort of meditation or breathing exercises. I'd love to know, what you do. And you start off and it's called box breathing because it's sort of in a circuit of 4 phases of the breathing. Okay. So the first phase or the first side of the box is to breathe deeply in through your nose and imagine the air filling up your chest and your entire body. Okay. And you hold it for about 4 or 5 seconds, as long as you can. And you can gradually build up the conditioning and the capacity to hold your breath longer. But for now, it could just be 4 seconds. So you breathe in, as I had mentioned, and you hold it for 4 seconds, 4 or 5 seconds. And you can breathe it. You can breathe it out, and you can stop breathing for 4 or 5 seconds. Okay. And then you start the next side of the box, which is you breathe in again, and you hold it for 4 or 5 seconds. And then you breathe out. And you could breathe out through your mouth in a nice, calm, sort of restrained flow of breath. And you could do that a couple of times. Okay. So box breathing is where you breathe in, you hold for a few seconds, you breathe out, you hold for a few seconds with no air. And then you breathe in again for a few, and you hold it for a few seconds. And then you breathe out and you hold it for a few seconds with no air. And so this exercise can calm you down. It can sort of reset anxiety, right? The sense that you don't have control, the sense that that things are out to get you, the sense that things are going to be bad, right? That can help you incredibly. If you start that in the morning and you don't even get out of bed yet, okay? If you can just spare, it could only take a minute or 2 minutes as you build up more conditioning around that. Just that breathing exercise alone. And you can do this while you're even at work or while you're sitting up in the course of the day, right? The breathing has so much incredible healing components to it. Not only does it help your lungs and help you actually your physical health, it helps your mental and emotional health. It helps you to pause, right, in the course of a very busy day, for example. And many of us know we can go and go and go, right? You've probably conditioned yourself. You're well into your career, you're mature career professional woman like I am. You can just go and go and go and not even realize you've been doing this for 6 hours, right? So you need to take that break. And the reason I say that is don't wait for a challenge to come your way in life, because that's inevitable that we will have challenges. But build a practice that grounds you already, okay? And gives you a stronger foundation than you're standing on right now. Do one of these hacks. Follow me in my Facebook community. I'm going to put my group right in the comments here. I have other mindful activities, meditations, journaling. I have free training in there. It's a supportive group. And it's actually a really fun group of us. So they're just commenting and connecting. I also have a live challenge coming up in this month. I'm going to be posting that date. I'll get that ready for you. And in the live, we're going to just really cover a lot more of these hacks and how, more importantly, how I incorporated all of them together. And I really came out the other end of that very dark, dark, dark space. And I want that for all of you too. Okay. And I want us to have continuous communication, conversation, reflection, and really just reinvent ourselves and not be afraid to reinvent ourselves. Ladies, it's okay. Like we're moving, we're on to the next phase, and we can do this together. Okay. Just having the confidence, breathe in the confidence and breathe out the fear. Okay. That's what I'd really love for you to have. I want you to have a magical day, and I'll see you in my community real soon.